Okay, this is the evaluation for my magazine cover. Here it is. I've chosen to go with Empire, as they are, well, the world's best movie magazine in their own words. Very, very popular amongst movie lovers, and they are sort of one of the first companies, along with Total Film and things like that, that you think of when going with movie magazines. They don't do that many horror films, so I thought this would be nice and different to have a horror film on the cover, and also created an opportunity to do a special edition of Empire because of the horror, but we will get into that in a minute. So overall, as you can see, the Canine, my film is sort of a psychological horror slash thriller. So the cover is not completely horror. You've got some element of mystery in here as well. Obviously, you've got some aspects such as the blood and things suggesting horror, and also the reds suggesting the horror. But overall, it's not too horror orientated. It's not too thriller orientated. It's a nice balance. The thriller, obviously, you've got the mystery, or the wolf shadow, things like that. So it leaves a good balance there. We'll get on to some of the finer points. Now, the cover model that I have on the post here is female, which is not seen that often on magazine covers in general, sort of mainstream ones anyway. Well, mainstream ones that aren't designed specifically for men. The fact that she's also an ethnic minority is a big point, because that is very rare indeed, to have an ethnic minority feature on the cover of a magazine. I mean, Empire, for example, on a few such as the Django Unchained and things like that, you have an ethnic minority, but you also have the Caucasian actors, some Caucasian actors on there as well. So to have an ethnic minority on their own on the front cover is very rare. But I think because my audience research indicated that my audiences want to see more ethnic minorities, then they deserve a place on the front cover. So I'm breaking one of the conventions, sort of the norms and conventions of the horror or the movie magazine, by featuring the ethnic minority on my front cover. If we take a look at an example of a female on the Empire, on here, Fox. Okay, so here's another issue of Empire, an issue of Empire featuring Megan Fox on the cover. Now, whenever females do feature on the cover of magazines such as this, they are very normally sexualized. So as you can see here, she's got nothing on her top. She's covering up her breasts here, and just have some sort of skin tight leggings on, bare feet. She's in a sort of very vulnerable position, looking across, looking very glamorous, but at the same time very sexualized. This is normal for women on the cover of magazines, so they're always made to look sexualized or glamorous. Things like this, an object of desire for men. So mine obviously is breaking the convention by not being an object of desire. Obviously, it's not intended in any way. I've got the sort of a glamour glow effect on her face underneath the blood to make her look more beautiful, but she's not in any way sexualized or exploited in that sense. Yes, so, and going back to again on the blood that I have on here, it's made so she's not an object of sexual desire on here. She is for the purpose of advertising the movie, which again is breaking the conventions of horror. Well, not horror, but the films and the magazines in general, because whenever the women are put on the covers, as I said, they are designed to get male audiences particularly is sexually attracted to them. And again, she's sharing the page with the shadow of the wolf. Now this is and this works very well, I think, because it sends out lots of it. It's got several different meanings. This wolf, you can take away any. You could say that the wolf is actually there in front of her, casting the shadow, and that's what she's actually looking at. Or you could think that the wolf is, because it's just a shadow, it's only an idea. So it's not really there. And it's just in her head, which again goes back to the fact that we can only see half of this model's face here. So she's hiding, that has connotations of the fact that she's hiding something. So maybe the fact that this wolf is an idea links to the fact that she is hiding something. We're getting questions, sort of that thriller or the psychological element that I'm leading my audience on, getting them to ask questions to themselves about what is this film actually about, what's going on in it, which is going to want to make them investigate it more and hopefully get them more interested in going to see it at the cinema. Now the fact that it's a monstrous issue up here is a play on words, because obviously when you spell monstrous you normally leave out the E. So making this clear that it's monster, as in monster movie, related. So this is a special edition of Empire looking at monster movies. Now, as my audience research points out, which is here, you can see that monster movies were found to be the most popular out of sort of the gore, torture, the supernatural, and the slasher film, out of these four types that I selected to survey people on. So that was quite a surprise to me. As I say, I would have thought that the supernatural, or particularly the gore and the torture, would have beaten Monster, but Monster actually did come out on top. So to have a magazine dedicated to the monster movie will appeal to members of my audience, because it's targeted specifically on the type of horror that they enjoy watching, and also the fact that my film is the only really sort of emphasised one on the cover, makes it stand out to them. It not only stands out on the page, but it stands out as being significant or important as a film, because nothing else is allowed to distract from this film. All the other sort of monster related articles are sort of down here small, so we've got the greatest ever monster movies. Now normally you would expect that to be sort of large and advertised, because that would be a major selling point, but my movie is designed to be so important. It's the revival of the werewolf movie, as I say on here. So that's been relegated almost down into the regular sort of section down here. Again, the sort of the effects to link to the horror. Obviously, you've got the colour scheme here. This is the reds and everything. Like I said earlier, connotations of danger, things like that. Obviously blood. And then the white, I've used the white as a reference to the full moon, sort of the moonlight. It's not very clear though. If I was going to do the magazine again, I think I would have sort of a full moon image put in here subtly. So possibly in the holes here in the P and the R, I would have full moon. Full moons here, possibly just in the P or something, or maybe just maybe put into the concrete style background that I've got here, something subtle, which would just suggest the full moon. That would make it a bit clearer. of the whites, but it works well in standing out from the background as well as the reds, which then make the overall magazine very eye-catching. And as my small focus group revealed, they said they have agreed that this would definitely stand out on the shelf of sort of a shop such as W.H. Smith, maybe, who would sell Empire. It would definitely stand out on the shelf, just as any other magazine would. So it succeeds in doing that. The things, if we look back at this Spider-Man one here, as you can see, he's making eye contact with the audience. He's connecting with them, sort of almost communicating directly with you, as you feel. Now, my cover, although you can only see one eye, that eye is still making eye contact with the viewer, so you are still drawn in by this. You're still almost seeing into this person, making that connection between them, which is very effective at sort of drawing people in, making you want to read the rest of the magazine. If we go back to the Megan Fox one, you can see that sort of the writing and the text on here is not too specialised. It sort of runs round her body shape here, so the layout. Again, the colours relate into her, what she's wearing, that kind of thing. With mine, I haven't got the colours necessarily relating in. I mean, you've got the red here, which links the blood red, which links into the blood red of the title and things like that. But the lettering doesn't particularly follow round her body at all. And we see this if we compare the Spider-Man one there. You see that the text, it doesn't flow around his body, whereas in Megan Fox it does tend to. So the layout on each Empire magazine is different. It doesn't follow a specific set pattern, which means that having my text where it is perfectly acceptable, because there is no pattern to distinguish whether it's right or wrong. I've used the plus sign here as well for the special features. That's one thing that is on the Spider-Man one, just to indicate that there are some other features going on here. The white text on this particular issue has something to relate into. You've got the silver or the white sort of pattern on the Spider-Man costume that relates into. So again, there's showing the need for mine to possibly, if I did another draft, have another reference to the moon, or just something in the background, just to give it that reference, make it a bit clearer. And then the werewolf, the idea of the werewolf. But overall, I think this magazine is very effective at conveying my film as being a serious major production, and audience feedback that I've had as shown in sort of my small focus group that I did, which you can see that it does relate. They thought that it did relate back into my trailer and my poster. They said that they would be able to make the connections between all three items, and they do form a package which links together. So that's one good thing about it. It's creating that link is one of the things that makes the whole advertising campaign successful. And yes, drawing interest into my film by generating the hype for it, which getting people in to see it, which at the end of the day, films are to make money. So, and to be successful, you need to get the audiences. So it's generating that hype that's going to get the audiences in, and I think this magazine does that very well. So yes, this is the end of the evaluation for now. I may add some other bits in.